Okay, good. So, Jay, predictions for the 2021, 2022 LGEs. What do you reckon?
Okay, so let me start here. I think that Paul will remain, Drakensberg municipality will remain a DA stronghold. I think that Geesie van Deventer will win Stellenbosch again. She deserves to win Stellenbosch again. I don't think Dan Plato will win Cape Town. Cape
Well,
Town is a swing. Right
let's go back. Why does Geesie van Deventer deserve to win Stellenbosch?
I lived in Paul through both of Geesie's first and second terms after out of ANC rule.
Mm.
I lived in Paul itself under the hub of the Drakensberg municipality itself. I lived in Paul for Geesie's first two terms, and then I lived in Stellenbosch for Geesie's first term.
Mm.
And I've lived 3 terms under Geesie van Deventer, and the way that she's DA. The way that this woman runs a municipality and the way that this woman changed the Paul municipality, Drakensberg municipality, and Stellenbosch municipality around. Clean audits, helping the community, going into impoverished communities, like bringing service delivery, low-cost housing. She has a lasting legacy in the Drakensberg municipality, and her tenure within the Stellenbosch municipality is unmatched.
Okay. I don't know much about that municipality. I'm based in, my focus is on the city of Cape Town. You were saying about Dan Plato.
The city of Cape Town swing vote. Dan Plato has ruined the legacy that Patricia left for him. Because when it came to Patricia, it was all about low-cost housing, keeping infrastructure like in place, and trying to help the community. When it comes to Dan Plato, it's about selling off land and trying to get the fiscus back on track. Cape Town is still not a clean audited municipality. Cape Town has not been a clean audited municipality since Patricia de Lille. So if you want to take it from that sense, Cape Town is currently a swing vote. You don't know who it can go to. Nobody knows of a prominent EFF candidate. We all know that in Cape Town, there would be multiple candidates from Good or the ANC or Fred from Plus or from the DA. The DA would be Dan Plato again, but I think that they are so disillusioned by him by now.
It's
I don't
Jordan.
think he stands a chance anymore.
Yeah, no, it's going to be Jordan. Let's be honest and say it's going to be Jordan Neil Lewis. And I think it's not even the problem with Dan Plato is that he's not even the fucking mayor. The mayoralty and the city managership, it's all being run by.
Jordan Neil Lewis is worse.
Well, he is worse, because he will actually have control of the agenda. Dan Plato is just there to sort of be the brown face on on Craig Kessen's machine. So Craig Kessen is the executive director of corporate affairs, and he basically runs Cape Town as a corporatocracy. I'm going to break a story real soon about this motherfucker, but this guy is bad news for the city of Cape Town. And the DA in the city of Cape Town finds itself in a moment of absolute crisis. The reason why the ANC or the EFF won't be able to take advantage of, well, the EFF, for example, the 2016 municipal elections, they went there with 7 councillors. All of those councillors are gone. They've been replaced because for 2 reasons. Number one, whenever the EFF get to replace a public representative, they get to up the rent. So you have to pay a certain amount of your salary to Julius. You have to render unto Julius Caesar. And as if you make him a better offer, it's like, no, I will give the EFF.
No.
This is
something I don't.
Well, I mean, how since VBS, like, how do you think these guys are making fucking money? They can't like in terms of membership fees, they run by the public representatives. So if you are deployed by the EFF, any political party deploys you to council, whatever, you have to give a certain percentage of your salary to the party. Even the DA, you have to kick a bit back, you know. But like DA ANC is nothing like the feudalism that takes place in the EFF. You have to fucking give like so much that I know there are some councillors and even members of parliament who are in financial trouble, even with their member of parliament salary. And what's happened is that's number one. Number two, they've replaced the City of Cape Town caucus. They've made it, all the weaknesses of the ANC, they've replicated it. So in terms of like there's a Black African caucus and the Colored African caucus, and the Colored African caucus has been absolutely decimated. So the thing is, like the PAC now, only they don't really do anything. There's no political program. In terms of the ANC not being able to take advantage of the DA's thing, well,
has the PAC been taken over seat-wise by the Cape Colour? Apologies for that. Hey,
what
I
you
knocked
doing
over
there,
a glass.
A glass with
I
what?
knocked over a glass.
Come on, pour me a shot there, brother. A drinking game. Every time
on.
there's a new drinking game. Every time I say body politic or reactionary, take a shot.
Isn't body politics what Fakile and Balula plays, or is that just stomach politics?
Yeah. Every time my Lucy Gigaba has a new suit, take a shot. So no, the PSC, the Cape Colored Congress, it's going to be very interesting. They don't have a program, except that I can see, except for being a grievance container. So it's a protest vote. So they're going to take some votes from the DA, but not enough to actually make a difference in terms of the electoral politics. Yeah. So
I have a very interesting thought. You know the group Haggard?
Yes.
Do you think there are any links between Al Jumayyah and Paggard, or the CCC and Paggard? Because I've gone back on the wiki links, and Paggard does have links to Hamas. Like, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus here, but I've gone through the archives of the wiki links and the transcripts and all of that, and I'm just curious. I mean, like, if there is any links between modern day, excuse me. My God, I'm so sorry. Modern day Paggard and Al Jumayyah and the Cape Colour Congress.
I'll tell you what about Al Jumayyah. They are a functional political party. They are a really good opposition political party. In terms of the deep politics of links to Hamas, I mean, well, first of all, I don't know.
And TV, and they are fantastic.
And then, the second thing is, I don't think that it's bad to have links with the most popular party in the occupied territories. They're democratically elected government. So, I mean, for me,
agreed. Pro-Palestine all the way.
What I do feel competent to speak about is like in the Western Cape and Cape Town in particular. I think that, honestly, when it comes to Al Jumayyah, and I'll frame things from an ANC perspective. If the ANC want to be a junior coalition partner with the Good Party and Al Jumayyah after these local government elections, then they must continue to do the things that they're doing with the people that they're doing it with. And I've seen with my very own eyes, like how colored people have been neglected by the region. The ANC has fewer members in the Western Cape than the Northern Cape. And the population of the Northern Cape is like 5 people and 2 dassies. And that has got to do with the regional secretary. Like JJ is the regional secretary, and he has been sitting on his ass for 5 fucking years, not really driving a process of recruitment. Then you have a situation where the region deploys people to branches to nominate PR councillors, and like let's say, for example, in Retreat and in Grassy Park, in these branches, the region deployed a councillor called Badela to these branches and to basically referee. And imagine if I send you to referee a game and I'll ask you, hey, Jay, how did the refereeing go? You said, it's great. I scored a hat-trick. So you're not supposed to be scoring a hat-trick. You're the referee. So Badela comes to a nomination process to be to nominate PR council candidates, and he walks away being nominated at least 2 branches. So are you player or are you referee? You can't do that. And then I ask him afterwards, like, well, what have you done for me lately? What are you doing for Sub Council 20? And he's like, no, we don't deploy people here because it's only 2% of the vote that we get from this. And so it's like, well, fuck, obviously only 2% of people are going to be here because you're not present. You're not showing any opposition. You look at the councils, the Sub Council 20. You've got Dan Plato, he's the PR councillor, JP Smith, and it's all DA council. So these guys are basically like leaving
everybody else in.
They're not marking the opposition. So you don't want to mark the mayor of Cape Town. You don't want to mark the MEC for safety and security. You don't want to mark a place where they are getting away with fucking murder. Well, that's why people aren't going to fucking vote for the ANC in the upcoming local government elections in the South and in the colored areas. Because number one, the caucus doesn't represent any of the interests of the colored community, from what I can tell. Number two, the caucus in the main looks nothing like the population of the Western Cape and Cape Town. So either fucking do something for the people, for the area, fully in the area that you're representing, or give way to other people who are going to do that shit. But if you're playing slate politics, if they're doing this fucking shit that makes me so angry, if the areas are not good enough to represent, then they fucking shouldn't be good enough for you to come around and farm votes for you to be nominated. And this is a huge problem. So unless the ANC wants to be the junior alliance partner to Al Jama'ah and Good and all these other tiny little parties, then they must fucking wake up. When it's time to come to conferences, JJ must go. He has to go. I'm not saying this because I'm a factionalist. I'm saying this because I'm looking at things from a performance perspective. How the fuck can you have a situation where you have fewer members than the Northern Cape, where we are the smallest province, and then still continue with leaders who are arrogant enough to have this delusion to think that they are the biggest province? It's bullshit, Jay. So, yeah, that's the city of Cape Town, Jordan Neil Lewis, because the ANC are fucking asleep at the wheel. I've seen it with my own eyes. Sorry to ISO there, like Russell Westbrook ISO. But yeah.
What I'm thinking with the municipality that I'm in currently, I think that the 2 council seats of the Riebeek Valley, which is Riebeek West and Riebeek Kasteel, Riebeek West would hopefully possibly be me. Riebeek Kasteel would be a man named Willem America. So we would most likely take the seat from the DA, because the DA completely neglected the Riebeek Valley during the COVID pandemic entirely.
Riebeek Kasteel that's a district, right? That's not a. How big is the district?
So it's 2 towns with about 5,000 people altogether.
Okay, you reckon Good could take that district?
I reckon, because I live in Riebeek West, and that's the district that I'm running for, and it's the smaller of the two towns. So my voting population would be just between 1,000 and 1,500. So I think there's a good possibility that I could take the ward if I do my job correctly. So hopefully, but also people are completely disillusioned with the counselor, the DA counselor here, and especially the DA counselor in Ribia Castile. They are completely finished with her. So I think the DA will win the two. I think that good will win the two seats that the DA has. Yeah,
that would be really good for you, man. That would be good.
I might. I think I'm not.
Well, when you win, I'm there, bro. I'm there with my bottle of whatever the fuck you spilled on the floor, and yeah,
Lion alone.
Yeah, that'll be good, brother. So yeah, vote for good in what district?
District 15 of the Western Cape, which is Riebeek West. We're a small district, but I can make a hell of a lot of change. But for such a small town, there's so much I can do. I can fix potholes. I can put in street lamps. I can have the garbage system changed. I can have everything changed. It's such a small constituency that the fact that I can change individual lives is what's pushing me forward, is that I can actually impact every person's life personally. It's not like I'm running for a district of like 50,000 people. If I've got 1,000 people, or I've got 1,500 people that have voted for me in my district of 3,000 people or 2,000 people, or even like if I win marginally with like 51%, I'll still work for every single person in the community because I want to change every single person in the community's life for the better. And with such a small community, it's possible to do that on an individual scale.
What's the presence of the ANC there?
Zero.
Really? Wow.
It's nothing.
Wow. And historically, so let's say like 10 years ago and 5 years ago.
The ANC has seats on the municipality, but I'm actually not sure what the ANC's historical presence within the town is, because this town and the valley itself, the two towns in the valley, were the two towns that fought each other against each other during the 1948 elections before apartheid started. It was DF Milan and Jan Smuts, which were the two towns against each other.
A rugby rivalry, or like a bring your brasa rivalry?
No, literally the apartheid rivalry. Like if Jan Smuts won, it would have gone to integration. If DF Milan won, it went to apartheid, and DF Milan won. It was the two towns versus against each other.
So you deep in the history and the heritage and the community of Riebeek Castile, man. Son of the soil.
Yeah, I've gotten myself entrenched there. I'm not from here. I'm from Tebecha. Like I am full grown Tebecha, born there. My dad was born there. Like I spent a lot of my life there. But then when I was like 5 years old, we moved to Paul, which is like 20 k's away from the Riebeek West, and then the whole thing started.
How the community perceive you? What the feedback in terms of like, yeah, Jay, we're gonna vote for you, brother, or they
very much that kind of atmosphere at the moment.
And among the DA people, among people who would vote DA, who would have voted DA.
DA people are all disenfranchised because the crime has gone up, street lights don't exist within the two towns, and there are no public bins. For such small towns, they don't drive cars, and there are between the two towns, there's maybe 10 bins.
Wow. Okay, so you basically need the lighting. You really need the lighting, and the counselor hasn't. Who's the counselor there, by the way?
The counselor within my district, her name is Nicolene Smith. She's not a bad woman. She's quite lovely. But I do not think that the way that she is doing her job is the most apt way of the way that she should be doing her job.